Afternoon, good evening. This is our first live show of 2026. My name is Felipe, and I'm here with the Charter for Compassion. It is 2 p.m. in the East Coast of the United States, which means that it's 11 a.m. in the Pacific Coast of the United States, and that means that it's also 6 p.m. in the UK. We are super grateful to be able to communicate with you through our different social media platforms. We're currently live on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch, and YouTube so that we can reach as many people as possible because we have plenty to share today. And I'm very excited to be able to promote all the different events that are happening with the Charter. So as you know, the Charter for Compassion, for the first couple of weeks in the beginning of every year, we have a programming called Martin Luther King's 40 Days of Peace. And as the title says, it's 40 days where we celebrate and honor the legacy that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. left the world in terms of equality, in terms of anti-racism work, in terms of the beloved community, and how to be more free, like freer humans with the systems that we have been put on. So a lot of the programming that has happened with the Charter for Compassion lately has been inspired on Dr. Martin Luther King's Jr. legacy, and we'll be going until the end of February with different offerings from music to conversations, webinars, and courses. And that's something that I wanted to show you. So let me just share my screen, and we can go ahead and tell you what is going on here. So if you visit charterforcompassion.org, that's our website right there. So let me just go to it. You can look at the 40 Days of Peace in different ways. So you can scroll down and you see that we have different programs. Here we have 40 days, special events. So 40 Days of Peace from January 11th to February 28th, roughly, right? We got all the different programs from every year, so you can watch recordings of it if you want to. But this year, 2026, we started pretty strong on January 14th with Beloved Community, a musical presentation of the Feast for the Soul, which is an everyday gathering with different spiritual practices and meditations that people can participate in. And that's how we build community into interfaith spaces. Searching for the Beloved Community, this is a course that Marilyn Turkovich, our executive director, an incredible teacher and instructor, is teaching. The course began on January 15th, but you are still welcome to join if you would like to participate in the 7-part series. So for 7 weeks, we're going through that. We had an introduction to the Beloved Community Rising with Pato Anton and Antoinette Rootsdata, who are incredible activists and very much carrying the torch of the Ubuntu project around the world. We had a Harmony of Humanity that Marilyn does also, where we go through music of different eras or different cultures and how they're all connected and showing the harmony that we have within humanity. So that's pretty awesome in many ways. Yesterday, we had the honor to host Dr. Janice Adams with her book, Sister Days, 365 Moments in African American Women's History. This was our first global read of the year, and we were so happy to host her. The video is already available on our YouTube channel. So let me show you real quick. So if you go youtube.com, you go up on the search bar to Charter for Compassion. And there we are, right? So click on it. And this is our page. And you can see that we're live on YouTube right now. Funny. So you can click on our page, and then you can go down to Global Read. And right here, Sister Days with Janice Adams. This was uploaded yesterday, right after we had the conversation with her and with Katie from the OPED project. Very awesome conversation, very much rooted in liberation and how women and marginalized communities in general have been victims of that many times. And so very, very good conversation. Fully embrace you all to watch that if you are able to. So, but so not only that, but we have, sorry, I got rid of that. So 40 Days of Peace again, we go to 2026. And so then we have our Sangha that is on January 31st. And on February 28th, we're going to have a special Sangha that is considered for, more in tone with Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy. And then we begin World Interfaith Harmony Week on February 1st through the 7th. As you all know, World Interfaith Harmony Week was a proposal with the UN and the Interfaith Group, where interfaith organizations and religious groups and spiritual groups and any sort of organization can provide programming that values interfaith work. The Charter for Compassion is providing a 7-day offering. So like every day there will be something offered, and it's called Creating Sacred Space, Awakening the Heart. So You can register there, but we have the day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Almost every day is at the same time, 8 a.m. Pacific, which is 8, 10, 11, 12, no, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 a.m. Eastern and 4 p.m. GMT or the UK, except for the last day, February 7th at 4 p.m. Pacific time. So day 1 is February 1st, which is this Sunday. So if you want to sign up for all of them, you can just click right here, register, and you can check out all the different, you can sign up for all of them at once. So creating a safe space, awakening the heart is an invitation into a shared journey. Throughout the week, we will explore how compassion, wisdom, and spiritual insight live at the center of all our traditions. We will gather across faiths and philosophies to reflect, to witness, and to renew our commitment to a world rooted in understanding and kindness. So whether you join us for a conversation, a moment of silence, a story from another tradition, or a practice that opens your heart just a little wider, you're helping build the beloved community we long for. This is a week to soften the edges, to expand our circles, and awaken what is most humane and hopeful within us. We can cultivate our spaces together, inner and outer, where everyone is welcome and everyone's respected and everyone can flourish. So once again, you can register and you have access to all 7 days that will be happening from Sunday, February 1st, this Sunday, until Saturday, February 7th. Super excited to be able to provide something there. The Interfaith Pillar is doing great work organizing this different spiritual practices with other organizations like Alignment Interfaith and so on. So you saw that I went to our event calendar. So you can go to News and Event Calendar, and here not only you have the 40 Days of Peace, events, but also other things. So we have One World, Many Lamps. This is also going to be part of World Interfaith Harmony Week. And this is going to be a music presentation with the Harmony of Humanity that Marilyn is providing. So it's going to be related to different religions and spiritual practices. We also have our global read on February 11th with Getting It, Then Getting Along. It's a global read with Linda Reynolds and Derek. This is going to be on February 11th at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Although this book is about religion, it is not a book of religious dogma. The intent is to explain the foundation, the evolution, and how each of the 5 major systems of faith is practiced today. It examines Abrahamic religions, which is Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, and the ancient yet still practiced by many religions of Hinduism and Buddhism. And even though the book describes the philosophy of each religion, it is written in layman terms that are understandable and of interest for anyone. Without a doubt, many people do not know that Islam is an Abrahamic religion, and most do not realize that there are many commonalities among the 5 major beliefs by number of population who practice each. In fact, there are more commonalities than differences, although there are real and significant differences also. For each religion's review, a learned consultant who practices or leads in that faith has assisted with the book's content. So this is a pretty well-based, cited and quoted book that has a lot of information, not to be converted into a religion, but to learn about different religions, which is wonderful. It's important, it's necessary. Because the more we realize, the more we see how this world is going, the more we realize how much more communication we need and how much we need to understand each other. The facilitator for this conversation is going to be Nancy Murphy from Compassionate St. Augustine. She's amazing. We love her. So it will be a great conversation. I'm sure it will be a really fun time to check that out. So again, that is on February 11th at 11 a.m. Pacific time. There is a training for local bridges with the 40 Days of Peace and the EdNet Forum, Championing Thriving You Deserve. This is an EdNet Forum that we were supposed to have last year, but because of scheduling issues, we were not able to until finally now, February 19th. So there are other events that you can check out here. Another thing that is important to mention is that we have the Thrive Conference. The Thrive Conference is United for Democracy and Global Action. This is a conference that is organized by one of our friends, Actionable Innovations Global, and also sponsored by the Charter for Compassion. And it's the essential virtual summit empowering cross-sector leaders to forge practical solutions for democratic resilience. Kind of on point, right? So March 4th and 5th is this virtual conference, so anyone can join us. Join us to gain actionable skills, build global partnerships, and drive real-world impact in strengthening democracy. So the critical question we address: how do we activate more people to be active participants in democracies around the world? And so, although, yes, there will be a lot of U.S. commentators and people coming from the U.S. and whatnot, this is a global global conference, and that's why it's so important to have it virtual, so anyone in the world can join us. You can have more information about the different speakers and the overview and everything here on the website, but again, you can check that out on the event calendar, Thrive 2026, or if you go to the homepage, it also shows right there. So the big events that are coming up will show at the beginning of the website. Oh, that's strange. Wow. Okay, server. Let's see what's going on here. Maybe it's just this one time. Anyways, while we're waiting for the server to load there, our linktree.com/charter for compassion has all the important links that you want to do. And with that, I wanted to take you to our podcast. So as you know, we have our podcast called With Compassion. And this podcast is located in our Substack page, but is already available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and other platforms like YouTube and all the major platforms that you get your podcast from. So far, we have 6 episodes. Incredible people have been guests. You know, Mayor Greg Fisher, who was the mayor of Kentucky when Louisville decided to become a compassionate city. We have John Blades, who is the founding member of MoveOn.org. We also have Professor Paul Gilbert, Maria Cantacuzino, and then obviously, we have David Slow Wilson, and then finally Dr. Janice Adams, who was our guest for the Global Reach. She was also our guest for our podcast. So amazing time for all of them, and you can listen to all of them. You can go into Apple Podcast app or the Spotify, and then just type With Compassion, and it shows right there. So good thing to know that. So if you're into podcasts, we definitely encourage you to check it out. And I don't know why the website is not answering to me right now. Oh, here we go. Home. So as I was telling you, the major events: World Interfaith Harmony Week, February 1st to the 7th, One World, Many Lamps, that program that we're going to have with the Harmony of Humanity, the Thrive Conference, March 4th and 5th, and we are announcing our Compassionate Action Conference starting on May 13 and 14 of this year. We have plenty of other things that you can check out, as you can see on the homepage, but I wanted to leave you with basically the main, meat and bones, so you can call it, of what is going on with the charter, especially with the last events that are happening right now. My friends, I am sure that you're aware of how much craziness is happening in the US with immigration, with law enforcement, and so on and so forth. It's not a theme that we're only seeing in the US, but we're seeing them everywhere. And this is when it's important to not only have compassion for yourself, but also have compassion for others, for anything around you. And so I invite you to use the tools that the Charter for Compassion has for you to either revitalize that compassion within you for yourself, and that expands into others, and for you to gain more tools and gain more of a connection. If you're feeling burnt out or tired, you can always reach out to us. Our email, contact@charterforcompassion.org, or if you message us, DM us on any of our social media platforms. We're happy to talk. We're happy to chat. We're happy to encourage. It's a very crucial moment where we need to stand together, and we need to show that joy is something that, although it's work, is worth it. And so with that, my friends, I leave you, and we'll be talking maybe next week with more announcements for different things that are happening with the charter. But again, I invite you to get into the programming for Martin Luther King Day Jr. 4 Days of Peace, because that is right there the essence of what we're experiencing right now, and how we need to create our beloved community so we can stand strong against tyranny and fascism that we're facing all over the world.